Good evening. Welcome to our continuing series on great American leaders. This evening, we have the great honor of being joined by our very first President of the United States of America, President George Washington. President Washington, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about your early life. Where were you born?
I was born in Westmoreland, Virginia on February 22nd, 1632.
Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Well, my father was a landowner and a tobacco planter, but he died when I was 11 years old. My mother and my older half-brother, Lawrence, took care of me after that.
Did Lawrence teach you anything in particular?
Lawrence did teach me how to be a gentleman.
Would you say he was a big influence on your life?
He was a big influence on me.
Very cool. Now, what was your first job? I heard you were a surveyor.
Yeah, I was a surveyor. A surveyor plots or maps land so people can buy a certain part of it or all of it.
Now, what did you do after you were a surveyor?
After I was a surveyor, I joined the Virginia militia.
The Virginia militia. Did you guys fight in any battles or any wars when you were in the Virginia militia?
In the Virginia militia, I became a leader in the French and Indian War.
Did you have any interesting experiences when you were in the French and Indian War?
During the war, I was riding a horse, but the horse got shot and I almost died.
That must have been pretty scary.
That was really scary.
What did you do after the French and Indian War?
After the French and Indian War, I joined the Virginia legislature.
Now, when you were in the legislature, did you have any major conflicts that you guys had to face?
Well, after a while, me and my fellow landowners, we were getting paid large taxes from the British, and we didn't have any share in the decision. This is called taxation without representation.
So the British were taxing you a lot, and you didn't have any say in that decision.
Yeah.
How did you guys deal with that conflict?
Well, first we tried to ask the British if they could give us more rights, and after that didn't work. We decided to go to war.
Was this the Revolutionary War?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was I understand you had a pretty big role in the Revolutionary
Yes.
War.
I was one of the leaders and generals in the American Revolutionary War.
Were you in charge of an army or anything like that?
I was in charge of the Continental Army. The Continental Army was made up of mostly farmers and landowners, but we were fighting trained professional British soldiers.
So that must not have been easy.
No, it wasn't easy at all. After many tough battles, we finally pulled through and we forced the British to surrender. We had become our own free country.
That's pretty neat. What happened after the Revolutionary War?
After the war, I married a widow named Martha and moved to Mount Vernon.
Did you hold any positions after that, or did you just
After
retire?
that, I was elected the very first president of the United States of America.
How many terms did you serve?
I served 2 terms of 8 years, but I could have served longer.
Why didn't you serve longer?
Because I thought if a president served too long or had too much power, it'd be too much like a king.
Now, as you look back on your career, what would you say you're most proud of?
I would say I'm most proud of being a leader in the birth of a new free country that still exists today.
I can tell you, we're all very grateful that you worked so hard. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Washington, for joining us. We look forward to our next presidential series, which will be, I believe, Abraham Lincoln will be joining us.